Today we kick off a new era of Park to Prem, Season 4, FC United Manchester, episode number 1. We're back. I'm excited. Yannick's still here. Remember Yannick, the captain, overpaid? Yeah, I decided to meet his wage demands. How's he rewarded me? By training absolutely terribly. I feel like I'm going to hate that smile by the end of the season. Let's hope he proves me wrong. Today we have BL Spartans. They're predicted to do well. We've done loads of business in the transfer window. There's so much to talk about today. Let's just get straight into this. Yes, folks, how is it going? And welcome back. This is episode 1 of Park to Prem here with FC United of Manchester. As I did last year, we're going to reset the numbers when we come to a new club. I feel like this is a new chapter beginning. Of course, if you're tuning into this video and maybe you've not seen what preceded it, you've missed 2.5 years of fun down in West Sussex at Three Bridges. There's a link to the series playlist down below. Today, we are taking on, as I mentioned, BL Spartans. We are in the Northern Premier Division, and we are the new manager of FC United of Manchester, a team who missed out on automatic promotion so narrowly last year, finishing second, then bottled the playoffs, and we're hopefully going to be the man, after 5 years of them being stuck at this level, to take them back to the Vanarama National Regional Divisions this year. So just a little refresher, we're here, we've signed with FC United of Manchester, a 2-year deal on £500 a week, and the objective for this season is to reach the promotion playoff. That is the aim. We want to do that. And the Northern Premier Division, let me tell you now, is a fiercely competitive league. At this level, one team goes up automatically. The rest of the teams go into a 4-team playoff. Of course, over at Three Bridges, we lost in the exact same playoff in the southern equivalent of this league. And, FC United also lost in the semi-final. We are going to hope to take them that one step further. Looking at the pre-season odds right now, we are apparently the second most favoured team to go up automatically. That has risen a little bit since right at the start of the year, and that is because of some of the squad additions we've made. But make no mistake, this is a very, very competitive league. And in fact, when you look at the Media Dream 11, I don't think we have a single player in this 11. No, we literally do not have a player here. I felt good about my transfer business. Now I feel like I'm questioning it slightly. Now, in terms of transfer business, and with this being a new side we're inheriting, I feel like today we have to do a full squad introduction. So whilst I could run through all the ins and outs, let's just focus on the team that we actually have, and also the system that we're going to play. Of course, at Three Bridges, we were playing a 4-1-2-1-2. We've decided to take that system over here and adapt it ever so slightly. Now, at the back, things have not changed much since I've come into the club. Defensively, this squad was set up really nicely. In goal, Nathan Harker, top quality goalkeeper for this level. Really, really good shot stopper. We talked about him in the conclusion episode of the Three Bridges chapter. Ahead of him, we've got Yannick, who we've already talked about in the intro. He is one of the biggest earners at the club, a player who's been here for a lot of years, playing very, very well. He's a leader in the dressing room. He's got 16 leadership. I kind of needed to keep his influence around. I've doshed out the big bucks for him. He better repay the faith I'm putting in him. Alongside him at centre-back, we have Harry Lee. Now, Harry Lee is a good defender for this level. He's good in the air. He's got lots of 10s. He's kind of just average at everything. And he was also here at the club last year. So we've got kind of a little triangle of players who know each other here. Everyone else, with the exception of Wallace, is new. Of course, Wallace is, again, one of the big earners at the club. He's on £600 a week. He has proven himself at this level. And it was for that reason I decided he was worth keeping around. Now, before we go any further, shall we address the elephant in the room? Or the man with no vowels in his name in the room? I know someone's now going to tell me, why is a vowel in Welsh? Yes, I know. I've been told it a billion times in the comments. He has no English vowels. Now someone's going to tell me that Jim has a Y in it as a vowel. Yeah, you're right. Well done. You've won. Look, Jones at centre mid has joined us from Three Bridges. I absolutely love this man. He has been a super consistent player for us for 2 years down south. We've brought him up north for £2,000. Unfortunately, there were other players I wanted to get from Three Bridges. I couldn't get them to join us. Cardo Sadiq, I wanted to bring in as a backup centre-back, just because he's not as good as our other two centre-backs. He's told me to do one, and Aaron Ben, I also wanted to sign, because we needed to get in some strikers, but he wanted £800 a week, and I've spent £800 a week on a player who I think is just a better striker. Now, who is that striker, you might ask? It is this man, a man who I'm putting all the eggs in the basket of. If this man doesn't score, we probably don't go up this year. So no pressure, Sean Mikulski. Look, Sean needs to get goals for us. That is the long and short of it. You can see him compared to Aaron Ben here. To be honest, he's probably not as good in terms of raw pace, raw goal scoring ability, but he's a much more complete player, a more intelligent player. And I think he's the man to guide us to success. He's on £800 a week. Just to put that in perspective, that is him, Yannick and Harry Wallace as kind of the top earners. He's earning almost double the fourth most paid player, which is Harker in goals. So yeah, for a player who's not scored many goals recently, maybe I've overpaid slightly. Maybe it's just blind, deluded faith. I'm hoping he's going to do the business. Now, whilst we did inherit good centre-backs and a good goalkeeper, the full-back position needed some TLC. On one side, we've got Dylan Crowe, 23 years old, a player released by Ipswich Town. He's a pretty good attacking winger. Really, really good pace for this level, good determination, good crossing and dribbling ability as well. On the left-hand side, I couldn't quite get the same level of athlete. So we've got here Sam Warburton. He was previously playing for Ashford United down in the Isthmian League. He was released by them. I'm going to be honest, he's not performed very well for them, but I feel like when I look at his attributes, he should be good. Whether or not he actually ends up being good, I mean, we'll remain to wait and see on that one. But we needed a fullback. He can play on the right. Versatility is useful at this level. Even if he ends up being crap, and actually I end up playing our other left-back option in Lucas Perry instead, the good news with Sam is he can play a few different spots on the pitch. So he's got that going for him. Now, moving up into the midfield, we've talked about Jones, the next player, the only real midfielder with a defensive bone in his body in this team. We have Mbeka. He was previously playing for Matlock Town. He is a pretty good player for this level, great penalty taking. He is probably this year going to play as our defensive midfielder, albeit at centre mid. Now, if he could play defensive mid, I would probably play him there, but apparently he has no concept of defensive midfielder. So as a result of that, rather than play the diamond that we played previously, we're playing a triangle instead, where he will play as the ball-winning midfielder on defend. To his left, we have this man, Nestor McIntyre. Yeah, we've got a Canadian in our team. I know, very exotic for the lower levels of England. This man here, you can see, was born in Hamilton, Ontario. He's part Jamaican, he's part English, he's part Canadian. He was playing for Bury Town previously, where, let's be honest, he did very well. And he is going to be the creative force in this team. I mean, the man's got 17 flair with 15 vision. He should be just one of the best passers of the ball that you've ever seen at this level. And I mean, with a name like Nestor McIntyre, the expectations with a name like that go up. You know, when I think of Nestor, I think of Italian talented footballers. Now, maybe not a footballer who's particularly creative, but Nestor's just a footballing name, to the point where McIntyre just feels a little bit bland. Sorry if your last name is McIntyre, by the way. I feel like I'm just going to be nicknaming him Nestor throughout this year. It's just a cool footballing name, isn't it? Of course, we've got Wallace at centre attacking mid, Mikulski, who we've pinned all our hopes on, and alongside him, a player who's the kind of player we've not had so far in this adventure of Three Bridges, or now at FC United of Manchester, until now. Stephen Gold, 17 years old, German, I'm hoping he's going to be efficient, perfectionist personality, capped at under 19 level. You can see he was born in Germany, but he's part English in nationality. Apparently he's a Wolves fan, so I feel a bit sorry for Stephen. But he was released by Newcastle United, and whilst, you know what, you could look at it and go, Jack, he's only got 4 finishing and he's a striker. Look at him as a target forward for absolutely everything else. He's a good player in the air, great heading, good jumping reach, good strength. He's got balance. He's got good teamwork. This man's going to be Mr. Assister. We're going to ping the ball in on his forehead all the time. He's going to knock it down to Sean Mikulski, and the goals are going to rain in. That's the hope. That's the dream. If it doesn't happen, we have got other options, though. Now, I feel like at this level, as we showed at Three Bridges, just having backup strikers is important. Having the backup goal scorers you can throw on off the bench. And while one player who was on his way out the doors before I offered him a new contract was Keaton Mulvey, 22 years old, has played for FC United for a number of years now. I'll be honest, his goal-scoring record has never really been exemplary. For us, he is going to be a little super sub. And, well, another attacking player I bought in because you can never have enough is Mikey O'Neill. 20 years old, was previously playing for Preston North End, was released by Ashington at the end of his contract. You can see here, he got 10 goals in 38 last year. He is a useful player who can play naturally at centre attacking mid, which means, of course, he can play as a shadow striker in our system, but he can also play as a fairly natural striker. What I will say is, if Gold doesn't turn up, I don't really have a backup tool target man. Maybe I need to go and see if Peter Crouch is available. Peter Crouch is retired. He's not available. Well, that's unfortunate. Elsewhere on the bench, another player who we talked about last episode is Bob Walton. He is a player who's maybe not quite good enough for this level, but at 19 years old, I think he's a pretty good backup to have. Elsewhere on the bench, one player who is perhaps the opposite player, a player with plenty of decent physicals, I say, as we now go to his profile, and there's lots of red arrows on his physicals, but a backup player nevertheless. We have Jack Thomas here, 28 years old, can play right back, can play centre mid, can play right mid, can play centre attacking mid. Look, he can play just about everywhere. Very, very experienced, has got around a fair bit. Perfectionist personality is not too bad, really. We'll certainly use that for mentoring perhaps some of our youngsters. I'm a big fan of him. And the last player we've got on our bench is Josh Nesbitt. Now, I'll be honest, the only reason he's on the bench is because otherwise I don't have a left back and a centre back backup on the bench. Of course, we only get 5 subs at this level. I did weigh up the idea of just not having a backup left back on the bench. That does feel like a terrible idea that sets us up for disaster. So whilst Josh probably isn't our third best centre-back, in fact, I think that title would go to Frank Jones, ultimately, Nesbitt just offers that versatility needed on the bench. Now, we'll go through the rest of the players here at later dates. As players come into the first team from the reserves, we'll big them up a little bit, but there's another elephant in the room. An elephant I've been trying to hide in the corner. You might have spotted him earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Gaylor is an FC United of Manchester player. Remember this guy leaving Three Bridges on a free? Well, he couldn't get rid of me that easily. Yeah, one of 2 players we've signed from Three Bridges. I lied when I said Jones was the only one. Gaylor, if you've not watched the previous episodes of Park to Prem, is a set-piece god at this level, and whilst we don't quite have a player with the jumping capabilities of Sadiq here at FC United, he's a useful just ace up our sleeves. If things go really, really badly, I might start playing him. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I mean, if Gaylor plays for us, it's all gone wrong. That's all you really need to know. So today's first game of the year is going to be against BL Spartans, another team who have kind of been up and down at this sort of level. They were relegated last year from the Vanarama National League North. Of course, they now play in the Northern Premier Division. Just a little bit of clarification, because I think there was some confusion around this. The level below the Vanarama National North and South is the level that we play at. That is also the level that Three Bridges play at. The move that we've made to FC United is a sidewards move. It's the same level, just a different region. And what I would say is the quality of the Northern Premier League, I think, is way ahead of the Isthmian League that we were playing in last year. This is going to be a much more difficult season. Obviously, we've signed a load of new players. I have spent a lot of the wage budget here. But one very important thing I think I need to draw attention to is that our under-18s has got about £3,000 worth of contracts just sat here. Loads and loads of players who are not good enough for the first team, whose contracts are running up in the next couple of years. So we had a similar situation at Three Bridges. It just turns out here that rather than it being 20 players on £5 a week, we've got 20 players on £150 a week. That eats into the wage budget very, very quickly. So I've already talked about the team for today's game, a bit of a venture into the unknown. We're going to have to see how we get on. I have still got the option, of course, to go back to the diamond system that we played previously at Three Bridges, but we're going to try and adapt our style of play to fit the players at our disposal without trying to reinvent the wheel. We didn't have depth in the wide areas, similarly to at Three Bridges, so playing a narrower system definitely fitted our plans. Very excited to see how Mikulski and Gold do together up front. I feel like at this level, and I've talked about this a lot, you need goal scorers. You need players who can get the goals on the regular. We need someone to step up like Aaron Ben did last year. I don't necessarily expect it to be Gold, just because Gold is a man with 4 finishing. But Sean Mikulski, I'm pinning my hopes on him. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on him. Maybe I'm... You know what? If he plays well, he plays well. We've got an early highlight, 40 seconds in. Could we get off to the dream start? Crow whips it in. Wallace is there. And I'm a genius. I mean, Harry Wallace was already at the club, so I can't claim credit for that. But Crow at right back, poached from Ipswich Town after he was released. He's got like 10 crossing, which at this level basically makes him... I mean, it makes him the Trent Alexander-Arnold of the non-leagues, doesn't it? Let's be honest. First time cross. Jones with the secondary assist. And headed in by Wallace playing shadow striker. Not a bad start. We're a goal up away from home against a direct promotional rival. I couldn't have started any better. I say all of that, and then they immediately have a free kick that they've now scored. Why did I smile at the camera? Why did I look at the camera and smile? I was so happy. It was all going so well. And then we conceded a set piece. That was very simple for them, wasn't it? Brandy, Warburton. He's got to do better there, hasn't he? Apparently it was a tight offside. It wasn't offside. Is that... Yannick has played him on there. Isaiah Kunu, as I really should call Yannick. I like Yannick. When I say Yannick, I feel like I'm telling off a naughty child. You know, first name basis. Anyway, we're on the attack here. Wallace to Gold, who actually has golden hair. Oh my God, I love it. Or is he bald? I think it's blonde hair. I can't tell. I'll be honest, can't tell. Newcastle released him. We're giving him a second chance. And oh my God, it's Mikulski. He's on £800 a week. And he might just be the reincarnation of Jack Doldie. He might be the reincarnation. Jack Doldie was on £150 a week. This man's on more than 4 times as much. And he still misses one-on-ones. And Becker plays it to Wallace. Jones with the ball. I mean, go for the man on the overlap again. Crow is there. Can he get it into the mixer? He can. And he might only have 4 finishing. He might have scuffed it over the line. But he scored on his debut. And, Gold told that he wasn't good enough by the Saudis over at Newcastle. The ownership at Newcastle personally told him he wasn't good enough. I think he's good enough, even if he has completely scuffed that into the bottom corner. We're back 2-1 up. We're having a great time. Let's hope we can hold on to the lead a little longer this time. Okay, so we've made it into the break. We're 2-1 up. They've had one shot all game, and it was the header from the set piece. So really, and this might be inviting disaster upon us, I'm just going to tell the players it was a really good first half. I'm not going to overcomplicate things here. I'm just going to give them a pat on the back and send them out for the second half with hopefully the wind in their sails. You can see here just a sea of green ratings. Everyone's playing amazingly. You know what? With an hour gone, shall we make some changes? What do I want to change? I don't really want to take off Nesta. I could take off Warburton for Nesbitt. You know what? I'm going to do it. Not that I really want to be playing Nesbitt at wing back with free crossing, but I just feel like in terms of giving him some game time, the 19-year-old, showing that I am going to have to put some faith in him this year and that I do believe in him, sticking him on here is probably not a terrible move to make. Hopefully he's going to do the business. I say that. I'm going to pause it here. They've got a free kick on the left wing. I'm going to go on the assumption that Nesbitt gave it away. He did give it away. Right. I mean, we've rewound. We've established Nesbitt was the criminal there. Please don't score from this. Please don't score. We've already conceded 1 free kick from this area of the pitch. And they've hit the crossbar from that one. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Remain calm, everyone. 10 minutes left in this game. They're still not creating a lot. We're playing well. I'm not going to change anything. This would be a huge, amazing win if we could get it. It looks like they are really starting to press quite high up the pitch now, BL Spartans. Of course, they've got to chase this game. But if we can beat their initial press, I feel like there's opportunities to get a third goal here. Really nice build-up play. Mikulski to Wallace. Gold, I think he's onside. Can he finish it? The man has 4 finishing. 4 is just a number. It's just that finishing doesn't matter. Finishing doesn't matter. That's what we've learnt there. He's just dinked the keeper. That was filthy. And the build-up play was really nice. Mikulski drops deep, picks up the ball, gives it to Wallace. I thought that was offside. I think it probably was offside. For people who don't know, officials do make mistakes in Football Manager. I don't care when they benefit us. That's a great decision. Apparently it was a tight offside. Draw the line. Okay, maybe he was on. Maybe I just make a terrible official. Let's watch the finish again. What a goal. That is going to end that chapter. And it's a 3-1 win to start the season away from home, as I said, against a direct rival. And Stephen Gold, with his 4 finishing, might become a cult hero. He's 17. He's got potential. He was released by Newcastle. Is it concerning that I'm falling in love with him? I mean, other than the fact he's 17, it's one game, Jack. Now he can only disappoint me, I realise. That was as good a win as you're going to see. I enjoyed watching that, in case you couldn't tell. I feel like all the new signings clicked well. The kind of reworked 4-1-2-1-2 into a 4-3-1-2 looked like it worked pretty well. And that is a really important win to get away from home. Gold made an instant impact. Of course, a load of players made their debuts in that game. And considering there is going to be a lack of cohesion to start the year with so many new faces coming in, it's impossible not to feel pretty happy about that. Dylan Crow, 2 assists to his name. You are absolutely outstanding. Signed him for his crossing and his ability to get up the line. And he looks like he could be a really, really special player for us. So I think one other thing I've not mentioned yet here about the difference between FC United and Three Bridges is we're a fully professional football club. That means that all the players playing for us actually have proper training schedules. We actually can set up training schedules and hopefully develop some of our own talent because they get more than 2 training sessions a week. That is also one of the reasons why players' wage demands are higher, because at this level, when we're professional, they're no longer part-timers. This is now their full-time job, and they do need to be able to afford living costs and stuff. So if you're looking at some of these wages thinking, they're way higher than what you were paying at Three Bridges, that is kind of why. But anyway, a really, really good start to stuff here at FC United Manchester. This is going to be a really interesting year. I want to try and push for that top spot. I feel like with the signings that we've got, we should be able to do that. I mean, the media are backing us. I think Curzon Ashton, who were relegated, are going to be the big team that we butt heads with throughout this year. They are a team that we are actually scheduled to play next month, alongside Scarborough Athletic, who I think are also predicted to do pretty well at this level. Ultimately, I'm just hoping that we're going to be towards the top of it when we return. But anyway, folks, that is everything from me today. Of all the players we've signed, of all the players we've been introduced to today, who are the standout performers for you? Who are the players who you've got your eye on for this year? Let me know them down in the comments. I hope you're excited for the next chapter of Park to Prem. I'm really excited to see what we can achieve at FC United, a team that have good money, have a lot of support, have great facilities for this level, a team that honestly, I think are actually capable of taking really high up the Football League if we really decided this is home, this is where we want to build a project. Who knows, maybe in 150 episodes time, we'll be dethroning Manchester United at the top of the Premier League. That would be pretty nice. As always, if you have enjoyed today's video, do drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, maybe you've stumbled across this first episode, enjoyed what you've watched, go back and check out the series playlist. As I mentioned, it's at the top of the description. And other than that, until next time, take care. I'll see you on Monday for more. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.